Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Jeff. We're here back over on some more Modern Warfare 3. So I recently ended up coming across a tweet that was really surprising. It was surprising enough for me anyway to go and look up the information myself. So I was like, wait, there's no way. That sounds ridiculous. By the way, before I get too deep into this, if you're new here, subscribe. I upload basically every single day. I've missed a few days here and there recently just because it's in preparation for a pretty busy October. Prepared for that. Tomorrow, I'm going to be uploading the first part of Until Dawn, the classic horror choice Telltale-ish type game. The one that started it all with all the Dark Pictures games coming afterwards, along with The Quarry as well. I originally did a series on that game when it came out back in like 2015 or something. To be fair, I think I do remember a lot of the game. Also, Silent Hill is around the corner, depending on the feedback on that. I'm doing at least one video on it. So if you're new here and you're excited for that, subscribe. So speaking of the games that are releasing in October, one of them are Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which I've already made a couple videos talking about it. I ended up seeing a tweet where it said that over on the PS5 specifically, Sparking Zero is actually outselling, in terms of pre-order sales anyway, it is outselling Black Ops 6. Took a screenshot right here of that. That's not from the tweet, that's from my own screenshot as well. I went there myself to look at it. Over on PS5, all three versions are pre-ordered more than Black Ops 6. Those three different versions, they include the standard edition, which is the same price as Call of Duty. Then they had a $90 edition, which is like some ultimate thing. And then they have some uber ultimate, that's like $110. You're telling me that somehow Sparking Zero has sold the $110 bundle more than the $70 version of Black Ops 6? That just doesn't seem true to me, but looking across it, I tried my best to, change the orders around. Even when I eliminated the other versions, of course, still, the just base version of Sparking Zero is selling more than Black Ops 6, which is crazy considering, the Call of Duty track record. And Sparking Zero also, there hasn't been a Budokai Tenkaichi in years. So the hype is real, very, very real. Now, whether the game is going to live up to all of the expectations or if anything is going to happen, on day one, where the servers just get absolutely destroyed, that is a very real possibility. With that said, hopefully you'll be able to just, single player anyway. Surely we'll be able to. But then again, you would think that games have crossplay in 2024, and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero does not have crossplay. Maybe they'll add crossplay to the game, since it's such a big success. From what I understand, they did add a crossplay to one of their games previously. I don't know the names of them, not entirely sure, but one of the more recent ones, quote recent, Dragon Ball FighterZ, the more classic fighting game, not arena, it's like a side-by-side Marvel vs. Capcom type of game. That game came out 6 years ago and still doesn't have crossplay. And I'd consider that game a success, but in terms of raw numbers now, okay, well, maybe it's console, you know what I mean? And also, it's probably likely that PS5 is gonna have more players on it than Steam, right? So I was like, you know what? Let me go and check Steam. Let's see how Steam is doing. And obviously, that's still not a one-to-one comparison considering a lot of the players are also over on Battle.net. Not everybody's over on Steam or whatever. And again, we still never get the numbers for the consoles anyway, so. But just to test if this is maybe just a platform type thing, no. Consistently across the board, Black Ops 6 is losing to Sparking Zero over on PS5, with all three versions of it, including the most expensive ones, outselling Black Ops 6 in terms of pre-order. And it's also the case on Steam, except I can't see the versions or anything. Actually, a ton of games are outselling Black Ops 6 over on Steam. Black Ops 6 is actually like number 48 or something out of the top 100, and Sparking Zero is all the way at the top. Now, this isn't to say that Sparking Zero is going to be a much bigger game than Call of Duty or whatever it may be. I'm just saying, like, in terms of the numbers, it's very surprising, and I think a lot of people are tuned into Sparking Zero, and I'm happy for that. I hope that I won't be complete ass at the game. Of course, I'm going to be bad at first, but I want to learn how to actually do the shit. Again, if anybody that's watching this video is like an avid Tenkaichi player, like, I don't know if like a pro play is the proper term for it, but anybody that's actually good at this shit, feel free to hit me up. I'd love some tips and shit before I even start playing. Again, I've been watching some videos on it, on like what the meta is and like how to actively combo properly instead of just doing, one auto combo. How do you link things together? What is and isn't punishable? When is it your turn? All that stuff. I don't know any of that stuff at a basic level. I don't know if frame data is like relevant. It's more of like a type of attack kind of thing that you have to respond to. Like if you manage to block a heavy, are you able to respond to it? Should you not try to respond? That's just not how the game works. You know what I mean? I could just tell it's going to be one of those games. I can't imagine there's going to be like skill-based matchmaking or some shit in there. It's going to be one of those games where I end up running into somebody that just, they hit me one time with the start of an auto combo and I'm getting cooked. So anyway, the point of this, Black Ops 6 is losing to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Now, they're not really in competition with each other, you know what I mean? But in terms of the pre-order sales, they are losing, you know what I mean? Not the same genre, not really comparable, not even the same type of game or the same kind of retention or design or anything like that. Not what is a better game and all this other shit. What this says to me, less and less people feel confident pre-ordering Call of Duty. It's very surprising that it's taken this long for it to happen, but I think people are pre-ordering Call of Duty less and less. And again, a lot of people say this stuff about, vote with your wallet and shit like that. Don't buy shit if if you don't like it. And of course, I like Call of Duty. I love Call of Duty. I also want to see Call of Duty improve. Do I think it's a bad thing that Call of Duty has less pre-orders? Not really. I don't really give a fuck. I mean, we know the value of the company and everything like that, and they lay people off whether they're, you know, making bank or not. Up year, down year, people still get laid off or whatever. It doesn't really matter how it performs. Some people like to sit there and talk about trickle down type of shit. Literally hasn't worked this entire time. Shit literally doesn't work. We've seen it time and time again where they have made more money than ever before and getting paid less and less. And even if they are being paid fairly, it won't last a very long time. I've talked to a few people at Activision as I've interacted with them, and their job was to talk to me about certain things or whatever. People that send out the emails and other shit like that, they're on their job. They seem like they do a good job at what is asked of them. And I've seen people like that get laid off time and time again. In theory, you would think that more people would be getting hired more or getting paid more and shit like that, but it seems like they just kind of min-max more and more and more. So less pre-orders, I think, is a good thing. I think a lot of people have wisened up to Call of Duty and Activision's kind of marketing and shit like that. And it's, again, it's not that people won't buy this game in the long run. It's just they're not pre-ordering. What is the point, really? With that said, I am really happy for Sparking Zero and the success that they've seemed to have so far. Now, the launch could be a disaster, as they've never had this many people have this much interest in one of their games all at once. Now, I myself, obviously, I still pre-order and everything in order to get, like, the early access and other things like that to be able to cover a lot of this stuff. General public now is like, you know what? I mean, I don't have to pre-order it. Or they pre-order it and then they cancel the shit after the beta. It could also be the case that, you know, Call of Duty rises or whatever the closer that it gets to the release day. And Sparking Zero is really hot right now because it comes out in a couple days. So I'm gonna upload that whole Until Dawn thing. I'm gonna sit down, play the whole thing out. I'm gonna assume it's like 6 hours or whatever. I have heard that there's confirmation that there are new endings. I don't know how many new endings. There's also a couple new deaths that I heard of. Somebody ended up streaming the game and people were able to get information from doing that. It seems like it's virtually the same exact game, except, you know, just small little certain scenarios where there is a slight difference. There's a different dialogue option. The intro, like they said themselves, is a little bit more fleshed out. The prologue is a little bit more fleshed out to get a little bit more of a grounded feeling in like the characters and who they are, as opposed to like how quickly it kind of paced itself in the original. Obviously, the camera work and the graphics and everything look incredible in comparison. Even if it is the exact same game, I am absolutely down to completely replay the entire thing. I don't care. I don't mind at all. And ultimately, I think I remember a lot of my choices, but maybe there's a choice that pops up in there that just throws a curveball at you and gets everybody killed. I know how to keep everybody alive, or at least everybody at the end of the game, how to keep everybody alive in a scenario where everybody could die. But yeah, anyway, super happy for Dragon Ball. I hope it's good. I hope I have a good time on it. I hope it's fun. I hope it's something that actually like hooks me. Also, I think a lot of people generally want to see me play at least the story mode first, and then, you know, we could do some online matches and see how that goes. Also, just a note, I have picked Mortal Kombat back up recently, but I'm still just pretty average. I mean, the highest rating I got to was God, and I did not have a good time getting there. Yeah, anyway, Until Dawn tomorrow. I'm excited for it. It's probably gonna be like 3 or 4 parts, depending on how long I make them and how much it's edited. I know a lot of people don't want a whole lot of editing in a lot of these videos. I get that. But I also need to be able to not have all of the different things run into each other. I would like to be able to at least have the final part of Until Dawn going up on the same day as Sparking Zero, if not even finishing before that. So we'll see. It's gonna destroy my sleeping schedule. It might actually fix my sleeping schedule with the way that it's been recently. That's why I've been uploading late and everything as well. I'm ready.